أشراف مطلوب وطالبه لله أكرام من يمشي على قدم. العلم نور مبين يستضيء به أهل السعادات والجهال في الظلم.
In the book, he mentions it's not permissible to do itikaf in a masjid and tell a jama'ah. But they also mentioned afterwards doing a masjid that does tell a jama'ah, isn't it?
No, there's no contradiction. The difference is there are three things. There's something that can be called a musalla, which, for example, they only pray dhuhr or asr. مثلا university campus, or college, or work. They've got a place, sometimes even a multi-faith room. Like in majority of cases, only Muslims use it. Let's say it's actually a mosque. The key is in the hands of the Muslims. Like it is only used during the WAM, when people are at work or uni. That sort of place is a place to pray, like it is not a place for i'tikaf. So that is the first. It is not permissible to do i'tikaf. Secondly, there's something which is called a masjid that the jama'ah is prayed in. The jama'ah, the 5 daily prayers are prayed in. It's a local masjid in the middle of the houses. Like it is a jama'ah masjid, so they pray the 5 daily prayers there. However, they don't pray Jum'ah there. And then there's a masjid that has the Jum'ah and the Jama'ah, and that is called Al-Jami'. So you will find even now in certain countries, in certain Muslim lands, you will find a masjid that they pray 5 times a day. It's about a minute walk from their house. But on Friday, they go to the one that's 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes walk. That is the Jami'. So the Sheikh is saying the first Musalla, the university one, for example, you can't do i'tikaf there. This one, the Jama'ah, you can do i'tikaf there. But it's better for you to go to the Jami' that has the Jum'ah as well. Because if you do it in the middle one where there's only Jama'ah, you're going to have to go out on Friday. The minimum is that you're at least going to come across one Friday in that last 10. So you're going to have to go out. So avoid going out for the khutbah. Pray the masjid that's got Jama'ah. Right. Huh? Where are they? On the plane? When you're on the plane? La, on the plane, you look at where you are. You look at where you are. Lakin. If, for example, takeoff is at 7:07. Takeoff is at 7:07. And you're in the plane. You have to break your fast there and then. Even if the plane starts to take off and iftar is at 7:07, you break your fast, even if the plane is on its way up. Why? Because when you're on land, 7:07 is the time that the sun sets, right? But if you're on a plane, the higher you get, the more of the sun that you can see. The higher you get, the more of the sun that you can see. Therefore, concentrate on the time of the land that you're in. However, if you're midway through the flight, then you ask the captain. And also you can see around you. If it's dark or if it's daytime, it's quite easy to see. So do taqdeer, see where you're closer to, ask the captain, look at what time it is. If it reaches darkness, then khalas, you know that it is what? It is iftar time, as long as darkness starts to come in. 1 second.
I have a question in regards to thinking about different countries
Time, yeah.
Ramadan at different days. If you're in the UK and you want to travel to another country, but you started fast after them, what happens on the 8th day?
That is a mas'ala I should have actually talked about. Lakin, with that mas'ala, right, it's one of two things. Either, so for example, you start your fast on a certain day. Then you go to the country, another country. And then for them, because they started a day before you, they end up, by the time you get there, their Ramadan is 29. They cite Shawwal and it's 29 for them. But they started a day before you. So by the time you get there and you break your fast with them, you would have fasted 28 days. صح? Because they fasted 29, so you fasted 28 because they were one day before you. If you end up fasting 28 days, then you make a day up after Ramadan. Because the minimum for a month is 29 days or 30 days. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ash-shahru hakada, or ash-shahru hakada," and then 29. So if you get there and they're after the 28th day for you, they see their 29th day and they see the moon, they break their fast, you make up a day. However, what can happen is you may fast and they may fast a day after you. So by the time, and then they end up fasting 30 days. So you started a day before them. On top of that, they fast 30 days. They start a day after you. And on top of that, they're fasting 30 days. Their 30th day is your what? 31st. In that case, on that day, you abstain from fasting. On the 31st day for you, which is their 30th day, you don't fast. However, you don't go out into the street and say, look, I'm eating. You eat in secret. You eat in secret. In that case, you will end up fasting 28 days. However, if you start Ramadan with them and they end up fasting 29 and you end up fasting 29, khalas, that's enough because the minimum is 29. No. There's two angles we can look at it from. We can say the age of 7 is the age of maturity. Age of 7, because the Prophet ﷺ said, command them to pray at 7. If it wasn't an age that is reasonably an age that they can have understanding, then the Prophet wouldn't have stated it. So 7. Or we can say when they can understand what they're being told and they can respond. Right. No, not beating, to be honest. The question is, with regards to beating the children, fasting takes a different rule into salah. Because fasting, the ability of a person to fast is not always the same. Children are different. Children are different. Just like humans are different. Some people find it easy to fast. Some people find it difficult to fast. Like in salah is different. Salah is easy for everyone to pray. There's no weight. There's no difficulty that anyone does. So they shouldn't be beaten. Like, they should be encouraged. They should be, and I think I mentioned that in the class. They should be encouraged, but you shouldn't beat them. Encourage them to pray. No, just by letting them know that, listen, you're meant to pray. Doesn't mean you beat them black and blue.
Doing itikaf and you face a condition, could you say the condition is going to work and coming back? Is that a valid condition? You have to work on Friday and then come back to the mission.
No, that wouldn't be a valid condition, because then you're not doing itikaf. When are you doing itikaf? Because itikaf is luzumul masjid, is to stay in the masjid. But this person that's going out every day, that's not itikaf. Like, they can come to the masjid after work and have the intention of being rewarded staying in the masjid as if they're in salah.
When you're doing the kafara and you have to make the person, does it have to be a Muslim? Or, of course, in this country there's a lot of Muslims and people who are homeless, you don't know their state.
Now, it's better to feed the poor person being from the Muslims.
If there's, for example, you have a sister or a younger brother who reached the age of puberty and they didn't fast, or okay, inshallah, they didn't fast and they have to. For me, inshallah.
Think about it, inshallah. Further on.
So just something maybe I don't know. Somebody who's got ada to do, broke the fast for
qada to do.
What did I say?
Ada.
He's got qada to do for legitimate reason.
A legitimate reason.
Yes. Okay. These ayam al-qada, what does he do? Jamia. As
جامعة في أيام القضاء.
yes. Here he only has to make your qada for the qada. Really.
قضاء for the
He
قضاء.
hasn't got a kafara.
No kafara. Why?
Why?
Because there were two reasons why he was made to do the kafara in Ramadan. First and foremost, he broke his fast. He broke his fast. He has to do qada. Kafara is what? لأجل ماذا؟ لأجل حرمة الزمان. لأجل حرمة الزمن. Ramadan is a sacred time. And انتهك عقد Ramadan. Or حرمة Ramadan. Therefore, because of him doing that in the sacred month of Ramadan, as a punishment, he has been given the kafara to expiate. Right? Outside of Ramadan, that hurma is not there.
So really it's not for حرمتي يعني sorry. These ulama they said الزمان يعني مفضل. So he's getting punished with the kafara because of the zaman he did the sin, not for the sin itself. Right.
The zaman that he did the sin in, the sin and the zaman, they come like hand in hand. They come hand in hand. شيء ثاني, there's a nas in the mas'ala أصلا. There's منصوص عليها. The man said هلكت وأهلكت يا رسول الله. And then he said, and he وقع في أهله. He had intercourse. So there's nas in this mas'ala to say that on that day that he had intercourse in Ramadan, that he needs to do the kafara. There's nas. So even if we don't agree with the ta'leel or the reasoning, or the ta'leel, nevertheless we've still got a nas. Outside of qada, we don't have a nas to make the qada wajib. طيب sisters, you can ask inshallah. It's lagging, I can't hear, it's lagging. Sorry, it's lagging. The current building that the sisters are in, should we pray Tahiyatul Masjid? Yeah, I can hear you. The current building that the sisters are in, should we pray Tahiyatul Masjid? No, you shouldn't pray Tahiyatul Masjid, because it is not part of the masjid. The reason why we're praying with the jama'ah is only because the masjid is full. Like, and this is not part of the masjid. This is just a rented apartment. So there's no Tahiyatul Masjid. Like, if the masjid is full, we can pray here. Because there's a qa'idah, a tabi' يعني له حكم tabi'. If is a follow on from the actual ruling, which is permissible in the masjid, it follows that ruling. Permissible to pray in the masjid. Go on. Any other questions? No. Go on.
What is the reward for itikaf, which is mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah?
لحظة. Go on. I can't hear you. It's lagging. Sorry, it's lagging. I can't hear you. So please say that question again. I couldn't hear you. Put the volume up a little bit, Abbas. Sorry, go on. Say that again. Yeah. MashaAllah. طيب. So the person that fasted the day before are people that he travels to, and they end up fasting 30 days. He doesn't fast 31 days. Obviously, he doesn't fast. He does it in secret. He breaks his fast in secret. What about Eid for him? Eid, what he does is, he doesn't do Eid on his own. He waits for the next day. And he does it with the jama'ah of the Muslims. الصوم يوم تصومون والفطر يوم تفطرون. So he does Eid Salah with the Muslims. جزاك الله خير. Um,
So, what is the reward for itikaf mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah? Sister get permission from her mahrams to do itikaf in case that's basically what's the reward, and does she get permission from mahrams?
the reward is that it's luzum, it's ibadah that that person is doing, and he's following the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, in that time that he's in i'tikaf, he's doing ibadah. So you're getting the reward of doing ibadah, but you're being imprisoned because of that ibadah. Because we can all go to the masjid and pray and come back. Like in this person has a virtue now, which is he's locking himself away in the masjid, away from the dunya, everything in the dunya, and he's staying in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's there solely and exclusively for the purpose of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it is as if he's doing ibadah 24 hours a day. Even while he's asleep, it is as if he's doing ibadah. As for the second question about the mahram, if she doesn't have a husband, should she get permission from her father? Then it would be good to get permission from the father. Yes, it is good to get permission from the father or brother, because the father and the brother, they're worried about the safety of the sister. That's why the mahram is there. That's why the wali in nikah is there. The father and the brother, they're there for the best interest of the sister in most cases, and they want to be able to provide her with security, and they may not want her there because anything can happen. So yes, she should get permission from them, inshallah. Allahu a'lam.
Last question. You fast the days you missed in Ramadan, joined with white days, with the intention of fulfilling both the missed and getting the reward for the sunnah of the fast.
Now, so the question is, can the days that were missed in Ramadan, can you fast them with on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th with the intention of fasting them on those days? Yes, you can fast. Inshallah, you'll be rewarded for the fast of making Ramadan, making up Ramadan, and the fasting of the 3 days of that month, inshallah. And that is what is called tadakhul bayn al-ibadat. Some ibadahs can go into other ibadahs. For example, if you make wudu, for Salat al-Fajr, مثلا, you make wudu, and you go to the masjid or any other salah, you can literally have 3 prayers there. You can have the wudu salah, you can have the tahiyatul masjid, the 2 rak'ahs for praying when you come into the masjid, and the ratiba that you're praying. All three, which are 6 rak'at, you can put them into 2, and you'll be rewarded for that, inshallah. Go on.
If somebody wants to travel for Umrah in Ramadan, but due to traveling will miss fast, would it be better for them to do Umrah another time and not miss the Ramadan fast?
Okay, so the question is, if a person wants to do Umrah in Ramadan and it necessitates that they travel, which means they'll miss a few days of Ramadan, a day or 2 of Ramadan, is it better for them to not travel and complete Ramadan, or is it better for them to go to Umrah and miss 1 or 2 days? No doubt it is better for them to miss that 1 day or that 2 days and go to Umrah, because Umrah in Ramadan is an ibadah in of itself. Umrah in Ramadan, there's a hadith, I don't remember the authenticity of it now. Some scholars say it's authentic, like in some scholars say it is not authentic, like in it is that the Umrah in Ramadan is like Hajj with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's an enormous reward. Also, the days that they miss, they're not blameworthy. The days that they miss for fasting, they're not blameworthy, because that's a udhr shari'i, that is a legitimate excuse for them to break their fast. For them.
Is going to have a shower a reason to leave the masjid during itikaf? For example, a person is staying at a hotel in Mecca, and there is a hotel, and their hotel is extremely close.
Go now to have a shower in the masjid is justifiable. Going out to the masjid, afwan. Let's finish that. Afwan. Let's finish.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Naam, so if a person is performing i'tikaf in the Masjid al-Haram, them going to their hotel that is close by to go have a shower is a valid reason. Just like it's going to the bathroom, then going into the hotel for a shower is also justified, because a lot of times the haram is packed. It's very, very busy, and the toilet areas and the bath, it's always busy. So, and they're gonna obviously, even if they wanted the shower whilst there, they would have to leave the haram anyway, because the showers are outside. So going to the hotel that is close by next to the building, then it's okay, inshallah.
The kafara for black woman as well.
Say that again.
Is it kafara for intercourse black for woman as well?
Now, the intercourse, if a woman has an intercourse with her man, with her husband, during Ramadan, if she obeyed him in it and she was active in the process, and she allowed it, then she has to also have, she misses that day, she has to make up that day and do the expiation. If he forced her, then there's nothing upon her.
If there's a young child who's past puberty and they miss some days of Ramadan due to being ill or pain or whatever have you, so they had to make it up after Ramadan. But the next Ramadan has come through, so it's elapsed. You mentioned that they need to make it up, and for every day that they didn't fast, they need to feed the poor person. What about if they're not able to feed the poor person?
If they're not able to, then the responsibility drops, or the obligation drops. Just like if a person who's meant to feed 60 people, he doesn't have money, he doesn't have anything to feed them with, khalas, the wajib drops.
If they have like family members.
Bless, even if they have family members now, as an individual.
I've got a question regarding the Sunnah fasting. The fast of Dawood.
Sorry.
The fast of Dawood, you can't do the Monday and the Thursday, and you may also miss out on the 3 white days. So, which fasting is the best one?
Well, the Prophet ﷺ said the best fasting is the fasting of Dawood, and that's the one the Shaykh also started off with. So with that fasting of Dawood, you'll be getting everything else that's in all of the other days and more. So sometimes, a lot of times, you will fast on a Monday, and you will fast on a Thursday, and you will find it fast in the white days. So you're getting that and more. I didn't even read out the question. Sorry. Go on, sorry.
And also mentioned that Abu Hurairah about 3 days. Are those 3 days also good, or
No. Ayamul Bid. So the Bible said, and there's a hadith that says Ayamul Bid, the 12, 13, 14. And then also hadith Abu Hurairah says 3 days every month. Are they the same? No, they're not the same. 12, 13, 14, 15 are the Ayamul Bid. They're the white days that is the sunnah to fast. The 3 days that Abu Hurairah is referring to is any part of the month, beginning or the middle or the end of the month. 2 days. So a person can technically fast the 3 days in those 3 days. Put them into those 3 days.
you can't fast in the first 3 days of the month?
No, you can. You can fast the 3 days, because it's all a sunnah. You can fast on the first and the second and the third for the 3 days that you want to fast every month, that you want to fast every month. And you can do Ayamul Bid. You can do 12, 13, 14, 15.
They do Ayamul Bid, and other than the 3 days, other than the 14, 13, 14, 15, they might fast the first 3 days, so that the Ayamul Bid for the first 3 days.
It's the same thing. They can put them together though.
But still, Ayamul Bid is specific to those.
Sah. Their Ayamul Bid can't change. It's 14, 14, 15. That's one thing. If they're saying we're going to fast 1, 2, 3 of every month, either 1, 2, 3 of the month, or the end of the month, and then we're also going to fast our 3 days, that's khalas, that's permissible as well. Because it's sunnah, for sunnah fast.
I think I might have missed out one condition of fast. I have here I've got 4. Islam, reaching puberty, the person to be sane, and the person to be resident. Was there a 5th one?
Islam, aql, Islam, aql, bulugh, to reach puberty, and al-qadir al-sawm, that is able, a person that is able to fast. And on that one, who goes out? Who does that exclude? That excludes the woman that is going for a menses or postnatal bleeding, or the one that is breastfeeding, or the one that is pregnant, or the one that is ill. And then the fifth one was al-muqim, al-iqama, that he has to be a person that is resident. So it is wajib for them to, so it is not wajib upon them to fast if they are traveling. But if they fast, then their fast is valid.
We've got a couple of questions on the thing, but I just wanted to make an announcement quickly, inshallah ta'ala, because I think some of the sisters might want to go. So it's just mainly for the sisters. So I'm not sure. I think there's quite a few people now, alhamdulillah, especially from the sisters' side and brothers. But for the brothers that are new here, we do classes every Saturday. Every Saturday, we're doing our Manhaj al-Salikin. We've now reached the chapter of divorce, inshallah. We've literally just reached it. Barely touched upon it last week. So you could join us for that. 5 to 7 on Saturdays here. And as for the sisters that are there now, inshallah, you're formally invited to a sisters gathering next week Sunday from 2 p.m. to Maghrib, in that same location where you are. Bidin like Kareem, there would be some snacks and stuff and sisterhood or whatever. But
the 3 p.m. lesson, though, there's a lesson at 3 p.m. to 5 as well, about the important lessons of a Muslim, things that are important for every Muslim to learn. That's 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's some of the question here.
There's two questions on the live. We take those last two questions. Within that, maybe you can speak to this.
What's your question?
A woman is 6 months pregnant but can't fast and wants to make up the fast during winter, but she'll be breastfeeding, making it a lot harder for her to fast, and she fears next Ramadan will kick in. Before she makes up, what do you advise?
There's two things. What was it? A woman that's pregnant, 6 months pregnant, and she wants to make up the days in Ramadan in the winter, sah? Because she fears the next Ramadan she'll be breastfeeding. What should she do? Khalas, she's got the rukhsa, the concession. She can feed a poor person for every day that she missed in the Ramadan, or that she's going to miss in Ramadan. If, however, she wants to do qada and make up those days after Ramadan in the winter season, khalas, that's also permissible for her to do. And if she does make up those days on her own, she doesn't need to feed a poor person for that.
Is it compulsory to leave fasting while traveling to Umrah, or can they still choose to fast if they're able to?
A person, if they're traveling, they can choose to stay, they can choose to fast. Unless obviously it will cause them harm and then they're going to obviously become unconscious and so on, whether it harms them to a certain extent that they can't live. Like, even if they find that a bit difficult and they're traveling, it's fine. They can travel and fast at the same time. There's nothing preventing them or prohibiting them from doing so, and their fasting is correct.
Last question. You said the days of Shawwal can be done without making up the days you missed during Ramadan, but don't you have to complete what is fard first without doing the sunnah?
We talked about that, didn't we? Did we not answer that? The person, when he misses days in Ramadan, he has to obviously make them up, as Allah Jalla wa Ala legislated. He has to make them up. It's obligatory to make them up. Okay? It is better for them to make up the missed days before going to Shawwal. There's no khilaf in that. It's better for them to make up the missed days of Shawwal, of Ramadan, before starting the 6 days of Shawwal. If, however, they don't want to make up, if they find it difficult to fast, and they want to make up those missed days of Ramadan in the winter season, that's permissible for them to do. And then if they want to fast Shawwal, they can also do so. They can also do so. It is not wajib for them to do so, to fast the days that they missed. That is wajib muwassa'. It is wajib, the time is vast. It's not just 1 day or 1 month. Like, in any time before the next Ramadan, they can do. And even if it's Yawm Arafah and they haven't made up the days, they can do Yawm Arafah. Yawm Ashura, if they haven't made up the days, they can do Yawm Ashura as well. Mondays and Thursdays, they can do that as well. But it's better for them to do the wajib, get it out the way. Like, and it's permissible to do the 6 days of Shawwal because that time is limited. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam wa ahkamu billahi tawfiq.
وقل رب زدني علما